QuadR podcast. Hey, Roy, how's it going, man?
Good, Ralph. How you doing?
I'm doing well, so I don't think we need to be that formal.
I know.
Just say hi. Um, the
So,
so how was the day? Good.
yeah, it was good. I took off jujitsu today, actually, just because I did a lot this week and
Hmm.
was kind of sore.
Yeah,
Um, but I felt like I was moving really well, so I'm happy with like how I've been training. So I just went and visited a friend in downtown Oakland, and we walked around.
yeah, right on, man.
Yeah.
It's like one of the first nice days in Michigan. We don't live in California, so it was awesome. I got my garage cleaned out and got the power washer out, so that was pretty fun and exciting. It's kind of funny how you talk about you're feeling good. It's like that wasn't too bad. The power washing, the kids were helping out, and then but then like Amy and I were going for a bike ride, so I was changing, messed up my shoulder somewhere,
Mhm.
and then when I was like cleaning the shower off after I took a shower, like my elbow started hurting. So I guess I'm kind of in the opposite situation. So, uh, but anyway, awesome. We're not here necessarily to talk just about us. We're here to talk about NCAA wrestling, and this has been absolutely the craziest off season in terms of like the portal and things like that. I think it's been like kind of more exciting than anything other than like the tournament weeks. It's like all this expectation. I think it's so generally, I think it's a good thing, but let's go ahead and kind of talk a little bit about what we think generally about what's going on and whether or not uh, we think it's a good thing. So, I guess to start off, um, I guess I'll give my opinion on the portal and NIL. I think that seems like a good place to start, and roster caps, and then you can give your opinion, and then we'll kind of like hash out any
Yeah.
differences and that kind of thing. So generally speaking, like, when everybody talks about the portal, there's all this discussion because I don't know, because people are jealous and things like that about the cash, right? It's all about making it
Mhm.
rain. And I think it's funny to me, in a sense that I don't really the portal itself's not really what that's all about, right? The portal is about the opportunity to move. When you add in NIL to the portal, and then you're talking about legitimate channels to inject money into the sport of wrestling, right? So I guess legitimate may be a strong word, but legal or allowed channels to do it, right? And so that makes haves and have nots, right? So you've got teams that like have money and like people who are fans of teams that have money, they love it. People who are not, they don't like it as much. But just to talk generally about the portal first, and I mean, I really truly strongly feel that like kids should be able to transfer, right? That like there's a million reasons why like a kid wants to transfer. They're making a decision when they're 17, 18 years old to go to a school, and maybe they don't get along with the coach, maybe they don't get along with their teammates, maybe they get homesick, maybe they need an academic restart. There's just a million different reasons why giving that kid the freedom and the flexibility to travel and continue their career is awesome, right? um, the opportunity to make money, that's awesome too. But I mean, I'll be honest, I put that graphic out there, and like I do really believe it's representative of what kind of money these guys are getting for the most part with the $1 bills. Like it's not flowing Benjamins, right? I mean, the reality is, yeah,
Right.
some guys are getting paid, but the majority of people that enter into the portal are doing it because they need change or they want change. If you go out on Flow and look at how long the list is of the portal, it's it's huge. It's over 100 kids, easily over 100 kids. And the reality is probably more than half those people that are in the portal right now are never going to wrestle another D1 match in their life. I'm sure that, I mean, a ton of them are freshmen. So, a ton of them probably aren't even going to return to college, right? I mean, it's just sort of like when you're leaving, you're going to get into the portal. That's just it. Um, and so, yeah, I love the portal. I think it's certainly been great for the news cycle. Super fun, and not being a particular fan of a particular team, the guys moving around and stuff aren't really, that doesn't like hurt my feelings at all. So, the interesting thing is the roster caps. I think that you look at like I always thought with the roster caps that like teams like Penn State, like they might collapse under their own weight, right? They just have so many people. They're gonna have to start cutting kids. They're gonna have to start cutting good kids that are part of the culture and things like that. But Oklahoma State's got like over 40 dudes now. They just keep taking more and more wrestlers on. And like, what are you going to do with 40 guys? So I'm worried about teams collapsing on their own weight. The judge, I don't know if you saw this, the judge for the House decision says they doesn't like the roster cap thing. Wants
Yeah,
wants to
I
get
I
people
heard that.
grandfathered in and things like that. But I mean, part of that roster cap thing is probably Title IX related, not just revenue related. So I don't know. That'd be how do you grandfather someone in? Because then, like, let's say Oklahoma State, your grandfather, so you don't have to cut any of those 40 guys. Does that mean you can't take in another recruit until you get down to 30? Like, you're just gonna have like all these guys on like how would that
Right.
work? Like
Well,
so.
yeah, there could be several ways that work. You, I mean, one way I'd imagine you could just like cap them at like adding 8 new guys, or actually it would be seven new guys a year. So then you'd get there in 4 years.
Yeah,
Uh,
that'd be
and then
fair.
so grandfathering in would be like anyone who's currently in college. Um, and and then you just like so you put caps on incoming classes, which in 4 years will get you there. That'd be one way to do it. Yeah, I think the NIL thing has made people always presume that the reason people are transferring is because they want the money, which I don't think that's true at all. It's kind of interesting. It kind of makes you wonder if like all these years there's been a much higher percentage of people who were not satisfied with their school and there just really wasn't an option. If I remember correctly, the old rules were like you couldn't transfer within conferences and head coaches could kind of like
Yeah,
put a franchise tag on
yeah.
you or
Send Bubba all the way out to ASU.
right.
I don't
Um,
have to worry about that guy ever again. Oops, that
yeah,
that didn't
exactly.
work out. But
And there was maybe some sort of like ideal of character building by sticking through together, even if you're not like gelling with your team. But in general, I think it's definitely a great thing. It does seem like it's just a handful of schools that are doing it.
yeah, the NIL piece of it. Yeah, I mean the portals. Everybody's getting in the portal when they're leaving their school, right? But again, a lot of that is just guys leaving college, guys quitting
Right,
wrestling, guys doing a bunch of stuff. I mean, we're talking top. We're actually talking money and stuff like that for sure.
right. And yeah, the percentage of people that are gonna be impact people at the new school, I think it's actually kind of low if you looked at actually all the
Oh,
names.
yeah, we'll go
So
through.
like,
So let's do that. Let's go through some of the major weights and like yeah, I have some things to say about like why are we making such a big deal about it. So these are maybe not up to date because like man, it's so hard to stay up to date, but like
yeah,
this is these are the top guys and by top guys I mean basically at least qualified or are an elite recruit, right? So
right,
I mean, you know, Dean Peterson's like the best example I think of like so Dean Peterson literally only got 4 points at the NCAA tournament, right? Like
right.
4 points, and that's probably about what you're gonna get with your Iowa. I mean, you're not looking at with Lillidahl, and I mean, you're not probably looking at him like taking top three, right? Probably you're probably like, hey, I'm satisfied with like 4 to 8 points for this guy. The Minio says that he got paid basically about 250,000 package, so 50 to 75,000 a point. If you say that's your scale, then that makes like a guy like AJ or Lachlan McNeil worth about 1 million. I mean, I can see with AJ's draw and his social media following and stuff like that, where you could get
Right.
pretty high. But like, if you take a look at this list and like
Part of
Richie,
your NIL is, and I gotta like understand this better, but you can get some from the collective, but it's also like you are in charge of your own name and
yeah, I
likeness.
mean, I saw they had a
Someone like AJ can hook up his own
yeah, oh yeah, right,
outside of the team, and so he can kind of do do
right.
his own thing wherever he's at. I mean, obviously being affiliated with a certain school is different than another school. And then Dean seems like he does have some, I don't know, some social media
He's
presence.
got some personality. I think that
Yeah.
like they're gonna love him in Carver, right? I mean, I think he's like not
Yeah.
just 4 points, right? I mean that guy was built to be a Hawkeye. I mean, like I think that he stays healthy, like that's gonna be awesome.
You remember? You remember his interview after
Yeah,
he pinned Figueroa?
yeah, that was
What did he
awesome.
say? I'm a better wrestler.
Yeah, right,
Go,
right, right.
let's go.
Yeah, he was fired up for sure. So I mean, like, but you look at the rest of this list. I mean, Kyson Tarakina. I mean, Rob Cole is like rolling dice. I mean, I don't think AJ's really a dice roll. I
Nah,
mean, but
come on, he's gonna be top three for sure.
yeah, but I mean, like behaviorally, like I guess, like like Kyson Tarakina, like any of those, like interviews from Iowa State and stuff like that. Dressler was like basically like, yeah, he's doing bad things. He's not eating right. He's like, I mean,
Yeah,
Dressler spent all his time like dogging the dude, and I'm just like, and he got like no points. I mean, what honestly, how much could North Carolina really be paying Kyson Tarakina? I mean, what do you think his ceiling is? Like 2 or 3, maybe 4 points. Like, can you see Kyson Tarakina doing better than Dean Peterson did this year at NCAAs?
out. Well, I mean, I could see it. I mean, anything's possible, but
Unlikely, right? So
yeah,
I doubt he's
unlikely.
getting a big package. Like Volk, he's going home. Like I mean, Minnesota was kind of a disappointment, right? I mean, they seemed like they were stacked, and then like that's the problem when you got like 10 blood round guys. Like
Yeah,
you can have a good tournament, or and then when you've got the ultimate lock and they don't win, that probably hurts too. Spencer Moore, I heard like his wife is a wrestler, and she wrestles for some small school, and so he just left like following his like wife.
sure.
So I mean, whatever. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the transfer portal, right? Is that you have that opportunity to like life changes. Your mom gets sick, you got
Yeah.
to be closer to home or whatever. You can do it. So, um, I think I would do great with Nasir Bailey. I mean, I'm pretty high on him. I guess we're got that Illinois bias going, but like, I think he's a great wrestler. I think that was big. But if you look at how much points he scored at the tournament, he scored the exact same as Sean Spidell from CMU, right? I mean, let's be
Right.
honest. Like, what did they pay for Bailey? I mean, did you pay?
Well, Billy, I mean, he took third 2 years
Yeah,
ago,
yeah, 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 yeah. No, right.
so
Mm-hmm.
so he's got that background, and he's he obviously passes like the eye test. I mean, he looks like a great wrestler. I don't know what was going on this year. It seemed um I remember watching him lose his first match, and somehow he lost in the wrestlebacks, and I know he was on my like to watch list,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it just kind of happened,
Mm-hmm.
and then he was done, and I was like, what? Um, but I think that Iowa with the Big Ten schedule, I would definitely expect him to get very polished. I don't think. I mean, he might be one of those wrestlers that once people wrestle him like 3 4 times, and they might figure him out. That's
Yeah.
always a possibility, but
So
I think he's genuinely good. I think the Big Ten schedule is going to get him like pretty.
yeah,
That's a great pickup. I don't think 1.5
and I
points is
guess
like
like if you're talking about ceilings between Sean Spadell and Nasir Bailey,
right.
that's like, Spadell's probably like blood round as his ceiling, and
Right.
Bailey's like, I mean, who knows, champ. Figs is interesting to
Right,
me.
right. I mean, I was kind of hoping he'd be like the first champ for Little Rock.
Yeah, right.
That would have been like a pretty cool, but he's had other plans, I guess.
Yeah. And Figs is interesting to me because he did not do anything on the wrestlebacks, and like, I don't. Who knows what Oklahoma State paid? Maybe nothing. I mean, that's the thing. Is like I'm saying that they
Right.
probably didn't roll out the big bucks for Richie Figs. Would be my guess, but
Yeah, I mean, you get the opportunity to work with Dave Taylor, who's proven
yeah,
that he
Gilman.
can take in a
Oops.
transfer and have him become a champ.
Yeah.
I mean, so both Dean and Wyatt were 1 year transfers in, right? So
Yep.
obviously, well, and maybe Rich can do the same thing. We'll see.
Yeah. No, I mean like it's and those 1 year guys, they often don't work out. I remember when like Penn State grabbed Hildebrandt, and like he just
Yeah.
like All American at CMU. Oh well, now he's going to be in a real room, and like, nope, 1 and 2 maybe. I don't know. But yeah, for sure. 41. You know, Casey Swiderski is like you talk about floor ceiling. Like he's coming off
Yeah.
injury. Like he's All American before, so he's got this super high ceiling. But like can the dude stay healthy? Can I mean like that's like the point variance for Casey Swiderski to me seems like it's huge. Uh, but he's a fun guy to watch wrestle. Yeah,
Yeah, that's for sure.
and so none of these other guys really like move the bar, right? I mean, like, okay,
No.
Redding. Redding's that kid from Iowa State, right? He was behind the Frosts and behind Etchmandia, and like he won, like he beat, I forget, he won the Iowa Duel match, I think, or something. He's a good wrestler, um, definitely. So, but I don't know. I don't think it really moves the needle. Lachlan McNeil's a huge one, right? Everyone's like, well, he's Canadian, he won't get paid. I'm pretty sure they'll figure that out. But I don't know, like, so for
Yeah,
me, like he's a big freestyler, right? He's on Team Canada. I'm sure
right. He's Team Canada.
he's super pumped to be like in the Olympics in North America. I'm sure, I'm sure that's a big goal. So he's uh he's gonna go to a team that's got a good RTC. What I would love from a college wrestling standpoint is if he went to Nebraska. And I mean, from a freestyle training standpoint, he's got James Green there. He's got Brock Hardy there, who's a bronze medalist U23. He's got Ridge Lovett's probably going to be hanging around. Peyton Robb's going to be hanging around. Uh, you know, they're all. I think I'm forgetting one more guy, right? Like, but there's a plethora of like guys to work with in the room, and like it's a perfect fit, right, to replace Ridge Lovett. But I mean, I know North Carolina still wants him back, and like, I guess there's going to be a lot of competition.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see like at the end of the season what percent of these people will actually leave. He's someone I think might stay put. Um,
Yeah. I think
yeah,
Rob Cole's a great fundraiser. He's got money. Or I'd assume he's
right.
got money. And so, yeah, be a decent chance that he stays. Jordan Williams, I thought was a good pickup for Iowa. I think that, like, I mean, I like him as a wrestler. I mean, he's a blood round guy now. And with those coaches and training partner, I think he's got a decent shot of, All American.
Yeah,
Scored 4 points last year. Good wrestler.
yeah, he's a great wrestler. They got both Nasir and Jordan from Little Rock,
Right.
and we'll see. I think there's actually a lot on the line for Iowa of those two doing well. Because if those two don't do well at Iowa, I think there's going to be a lot. There's already like rumblings about is Iowa a good place to go, and if those two don't do well, then if people feel like they would have been better off staying at Little Rock, that's going to be issues for Iowa.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that. I got some mic issues going. Uh,
They've had I mean, so their transfers who did well. Stephen Buchanan obviously um won the national title, and then what did Real Woods do again when
uh,
he took like
he took
third or
second,
something?
didn't he?
He took second. Okay, so those two were good transfers, but gosh, why am I blanking on the guy's name from this year who went like 0-2? The Arizona State guy, Ja'Cory
Oh
Teamer.
yeah, Ja'Cory, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and then
mean,
they had
well, and
another
then the
guy
other guy, Parko,
and
Parko.
Kyle Parker. That's right.
Yeah, they didn't work out. I mean, I think that they were old, and they didn't hold up. And like,
Yeah, but if Jordan and this year don't work out, I think there's going to be like people noticing that like, oh, it does work out when you go to Oklahoma State. You know,
right? Like, there's a narrative that like somebody can make, about that, right?
right? Yeah, whether it's fair or not, but um, there, yeah. So I think Iowa actually is going to be interesting to watch how those two do there, and
Mm-hmm.
Jordan um who was good this year, and he had kind of like a tough like beginning of college or whatever, and yeah, I just think that there's a lot riding for Iowa
Yeah,
on you doing well.
yeah, and it looks like Jordan. I mean, Jordan Williams just kind of straightened it out, turned it around a little bit. So that's probably a good thing for him long term,
Yeah.
for sure. It's like you don't know. Like I guess they know. Like, you're not connected. I saw something online that like why did he kick Jordan Williams out for a DUI when Tegan's got one? Like they're just like putting all their laundry out there, like these fan bases, and you're like, what? Stop it. 157. Cody Chittum to the Ohio State University. I mean, Ohio State's kind of they don't play a lot in the portal, right? They don't.
Yeah.
They don't get anybody from the portal really. They don't really lose very many people to the portal. I guess this year they lost Hepner and uh,
Well, they
the
lost
big one.
Kirkfleet. They lost Welsh, Rocco Welsh,
Yeah, right.
and then they did have Kirkfleet
Mm-hmm.
originally. So they lose some people through
Yeah.
the portal.
Mm-hmm. Facundo's interesting to me.
Yeah,
Chittum's fun to
very.
watch wrestle. I think that'll be fun. Like whatever, I don't know what happens, but Facundo like being at PSU for so long, and then uh,
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
just basically doesn't. There's no spot for him to start there, right?
yeah. So we saw him at Michigan at the Big Tens. He was a starter as a freshman, true freshman,
Right.
and
He did
then
well, right?
he did good in the season. Had a bad tournament. I can't remember if he won in two or like he did not have a good NCAA. I can't
Okay.
remember what he did at the Big Tens, but um, he and then he took a red shirt, and then he took a um, medical red shirt this year, I guess. So he's beaten like Haynes and stuff in freestyle. So it'll be yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just to see how it goes. I mean, like he's not super dynamic offensively, but he's certainly a really good wrestler. And like I think that like right is the Oklahoma State momentum. Of like, oh, we just take these guys, we make them champs. Like they had a beautiful narrative for the first year. Uh,
Right.
so Hepner went to North Carolina, Mayfield to Mizzou. We talked about Facundo. Again, these aren't like, I mean, ultimately,
Yeah.
it does it make these teams a little bit better in a dual meet? Probably. Does it make them, contenders? I think that there's like, I was talking about, oh, well, second place is always really interesting and stuff like that. I mean, the trophy teams next year, I mean, I would take these four teams and give you the field. If you give me Penn State, Nebraska, Oklahoma State, and Iowa as the top four teams, I'll give you the field even. I can't see anybody who now Nebraska could slip, but I mean
Yeah. Nebraska. It seems
they're probably not gonna get
they're
eight
lo-
All Americans, but they had a finalist, the first and a second coming back, and they got so I think that
they're losing. They're losing a champ, right?
yeah, Rich is the only guy they're losing.
They lose. They lose.
But
Love it. Hardy still has a year.
yeah, man, I think he at least won.
What?
He did a mission and
Okay.
like yeah, it's crazy.
But they
So
lost Pinto too, right?
they lost Pino, but I guess
And he was a blood round.
yeah, for what I read online though, that like they got a they had a stud redshirt freshman.
Oh, so he like wasn't gonna start.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right here. But you can't read it.
Okay.
You can't believe
I mean,
everything.
Iowa State's gonna be pretty good.
Yes.
And Cornell always has like I think Cornell was like they've been having good recruiting classes, right? And people maybe you haven't
Yeah, people are
heard of
sleeping
because
on
they
him a
weren't
little bit.
starting.
Yeah, I guess like there are some other contenders, but I don't know.
And you didn't say Ohio State, although Ohio State lost Welsh.
Yeah.
So you're saying that so if any team breaks the top four, then you lose the bet.
Right. You might be
I
right.
I
You're gonna
I'll
take
take
it?
that.
All right.
I'll take that. Yeah.
Okay. That's our first bet. We'll add
Yeah.
them all up. We'll have to come up with some sort of betting unit and then we'll
Yeah. Yeah.
measure them up at the end. All right. That's good. Yeah, 74, Rocco Welsh. Obviously, that's a huge one because it caused Penn State to then lose Zach Ryder. And then
Right.
Oklahoma State getting Zach Ryder. Like, Penn State changing Rocco Welch for Zach Ryder is like pretty much neutral. Like, Oklahoma State acquiring Zach Ryder is like a huge get. So I
Yeah.
kind of feel like Penn State getting Rocco Welch was actually like bad for them. like they
Well,
basically maintain the same level, but they lost a guy who's like a all American level guy.
Or maybe Kale's playing like 90 chess and him and David Taylor are like actually working together to make sure
Right.
that they're the only two teams
Yeah, I don't
that
know.
can compete for
I guess there is like some small potential for that, but I'm not convinced that that's what happened there. Pinto's fun. I hope he all Americans before he's not
yeah,
quite Julian Ramirez, but I think he's got 3 straight blood rounds, so he could do like the 4 straight, and that would be
yeah.
it'd be kind of a bummer. Fun guy to watch. 84 TJ Stewart. That's a wild card. Like he went from All American to not qualifying. Like I mean Brian Soldano. I'm glad he's still wrestling. he's, he's fun.
Right.
You know he's out in Oklahoma. Uh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, what do you think of TJ Stewart? You think he stays at Tech? You think like there's like a mutual like you need to get in the portal thing going on there? I mean, I guess who knows?
Um,
It's weird.
wait. You got to remind me who TJ Stewart
He's
is.
Virginia Tech. He's
Yeah.
a bigger, obviously he's a 184, super athletic guy.
And he AA'd 2 years ago?
He AA'd 2 years ago. Like he had like a, and then this year he went like 0-5 to start the year after AAing or something terrible. And then
And
at,
then didn't start.
no, he did. He came back. He was doing great. He was tech following everybody at the end of the year. Um, the conference only qualified like let's say like 3 spots, and I think he took fourth in a
Okay.
conference tournament, or they only qualified auto qualified one, and he took second. I mean, he was one slot
He was
out
one.
in his conference tournament of auto qualifying, and then. I mean, heck, he might All American. I mean, he was wrestling great at the end of the year. So I guess since he wasn't,
Not, I mean, not that great. I mean, he didn't auto qualify.
oh right, yeah,
Who do you lose to?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
ACC 184. It would have been like, I don't know, maybe Singleton or something. I don't know.
right.
Yeah, right.
We'll see. I mean, it's pretty rare that somebody like drops off and comes back.
hmm I mean, what's that? Eddie Ventresca, like a guy who All American looked like dog crap last year and then looked great this year again. Like, I mean, so
Yeah,
sometimes there's injuries,
right,
that do that. But yeah, generally, right. If,
right. So you'd have to know the reason
hmm right.
because it's probably I mean starting off the year so bad is probably why the conference had one less allocation
Yeah,
because
right.
I mean if he's an AA they're kind
hmm
of counting on him to be the
Yeah,
guy that like creates another spot for everyone.
yeah, that's true. Uh, yeah, and then Braden Thompson just entered in from Oklahoma State. So, or yeah, I don't know. Now they're saying maybe he's not in. Maybe he just said he was in to see if anybody wanted him. It's like that's like the weird thing. Like guys jump out there like this guy's in the portal, and then like turns out he wasn't. But
Right, right.
that happens. Obviously, 197 Ferrari, North Carolina.
Ferrari to North Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it. I liked it.
Well, so do
People
I.
were people were saying Iowa or whatever, which I mean, after the soldier salute
Yeah.
debacle or whatever you want to call it, it would have been maybe a cool redemption arc, but I think it also would have been just like a circus for
Yeah.
like the
Right.
entire
I mean,
season.
right. I mean, and like,
And I think he's like, I think he's turned the page on being a circus. You know,
yeah. No. Right.
I mean, when he was at Oklahoma State, I mean, he was like the at spring break with his shirt off,
Yeah,
like
man, child. Like he was, or yeah, he was like right, always with his shirt off and like, yeah. Oh gosh.
yeah. And
And
I
then
think we're seeing a new AJ 2.0.
right, and then he's going out to Vegas like during the when he got hurt instead of being with his team. He's out.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad. Rocky Elam's interesting to me. Like he's going to a room where everyone got hurt, and the guy is like, and the guy just gets hurt. Like he had his
yeah,
labrum surgery, knee surgery, like, and then oh, maybe I go to Iowa State. Like, okay, like he's never not All American, right? And he's finished as high as
right.
third. So like, I mean, if they can get him to the tournament, there's probably some decent points there. So
Yeah, yeah. He's a four-time All-American, right?
Yeah.
He's going to be this is the last year of like five-time
No. Well, we
whatever's.
got AJ and Brock.
Oh,
AJ and Brock. Oh, is Brock?
so AJ has multiple years because he didn't do college for a little while.
Yeah. So AJ says he's got at least two, and he says he's gonna apply to get that COVID. Like he should have three. He says. So he,
Yeah.
I don't know. It is a little hard to
Well,
keep
I
up with.
2 years is a long time, man. I don't know if he'll want that third year when the time comes.
Right. Yeah.
It might be time to move on, and I don't know how old he is, but he can't be young because he took a couple of years off college. What his
He
freshman year in
18. He was
college,
true
like
freshman. He was true freshman.
he was a true freshman
18-year
champ,
old. Right. Yeah. But a real
and that was
freshman.
2019.
Yeah. So not one of these like gray shirt, like red shirt,
Right.
gray shirt kind. He was an 18-year-old kid, like Carter was too. Him and Carter were
Yeah,
like
so
legit
so that
kids.
was 2019 because that was pre-COVID.
Right.
So I guess if he was 18 then, he'd be like 25 now. Am I doing my math wrong? I'm doing my math wrong.
24. Right.
Oh, 24. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in 2 more years he'll be 26. He might be done with college. Just in his heart.
Yeah. Right. I
I mean,
guess.
and NIL money. I mean, there's other ways to make money.
Oh, right. I mean,
I mean, if he wants to do it, like
he
anything,
had a
like
contract with WWE like when he was 18. Like, like so
right,
I mean, yeah, AJ knows how to make money, right? I mean,
yeah,
I'm not worried about that. Like he he's a master marketer. And then Christian Carroll, Wyoming, like another one of those guys bouncing around a lot. He was like a number one big board guy, which is like crazy like when you watch him wrestle, but it happens for sure. Heavyweight, so Michigan got Tay. I don't even know who this David Zuba guy is. Like, so, I mean, there's really only one catch. I mean, Hunter Katka, is like they talk about like, yeah, someone should pick him up, and I'm like,
yeah,
I mean, it's like 0 points. I guess like dual meat wise, might be like, okay, yeah, see something there,
yeah, yeah.
but like,
Rules, man.
but Tay, I mean, Michigan should be a lot more fun. I mean, full disclosure, I'm a Michigan season ticket holder, but um, it'll be fun to have both the Matt Nonas in the lineup. Lemley's got to get over that blood round hump sometime, and Tay. So it should be a fun team. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
So who's your transfer portal winner?
Taking notes. Um, well, for me, the one team that I think is just clearly got a lot of good people is Oklahoma State. They got Zach Ryder, they got Swiderski, they got who else they got?
Figueroa,
Figueroa.
Facundo.
Right. Facundo. Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, right.
They picked up another like half a team of all like good people, and I think if probably the biggest question mark is just Figueroa out of that group.
Yeah,
Is he emotionally done? But
right.
if he isn't, he's obviously a former champ, and if he is, I feel like they've got he's still probably a good guy to have in the room. Uh, so that to me, they're just reloading again.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa, I think, is like the most interesting. If Jordan and Nasir work out, and well, Dean Peterson as well. But
Right.
in my mind, like Jordan and Nasir, like how they work out. I don't know why. I just kind of feel like they're either both going to be really good or both like not fit in or something.
Yeah.
And so I think Iowa's got a lot more riding on like how their transfers do this year. Um, I'm interesting. I haven't heard really any story from Ohio State about why Welsh is leaving.
So that was like it came out early in the season, right? Where there was rumored like I'm going home, I'm out, and then they talked him off a tree, and then he's like, I'm Ohio State for life. It was like it all happened within like a course of a week, right? He's like, oh, I'm
Okay.
Ohio State for. So like he was like mini or whatever. Like the wrestling room was like, yeah, he's gone, and then like turns out, they talked him down, and then like he stayed. It was a Like basically, like they wanted him to red shirt because they had Karchla, and then he wanted to go up to 84. They wanted him at, I mean, there was like just sort of like different
Yeah, yeah,
directions wanted for the coach, and then like they seem to smooth it out, and then like season ends, he's like, I'm out. So
right. And that might be one of the things from the transfer portal is I think like coaches had more leverage in the past to basically tell athletes, you need to redshirt this year and you need to spend 1 year at this weight that's not your weight. And, that was what are you going to
yeah,
do? It's like that's it.
yeah,
There's and if you want to leave, the coach can tell
yeah,
like put that little tag on you that you're not allowed to wrestle or
hmm
whatever. So so maybe that I mean I don't want to obviously Tom Ryan is like a legend,
right,
but that's the thing that popped in my head is what might have happened there is just like from a different era. You're just thinking like you got these plans about which wrestler's going to go which weight, and then in
hmm
2 years, and we're going to do this with the red shirt. And
right,
if that doesn't line up with the athlete's like you know personal journey, they
right.
got these options.
Like they're empowered, right, for better or
Right.
worse. Because a lot of times the coach may be like, right, like in terms of their development and their opportunities and stuff like that. It's not necessarily that they're right for wanting to leave. They just like, I mean, whether it's instant gratification or whatever it might be. But yeah, like I do feel that there is a some of a negative side definitely to this athlete empowerment in the sense that they're going to make bad decisions. I mean, they're kids, and like it's going to happen, but
Yeah.
it's their decision. They own it. It's better that way, but it's to pretend like they're not going to do dumb stuff is like not
Right.
not legit, really. Yeah, my winner. I mean, obviously Little Rock is kind of like the loser, right?
Yeah.
Like in the portal, and I guess that's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Oklahoma State and definitely Iowa. I think like filled holes and like reloaded pretty well. So that should be, I mean, another really, really, really good Iowa team. So, but
But just
it's
as like as an offbeat loser though, one thing I noticed this year is
mhm.
like we just had the national tournament, and I feel like if we did not have all this portal news, we'd still be talking about the tournament, who had a great tournament and stuff like that. And I felt like we went to Philadelphia, we watched it live,
Right.
and I got a plane back to California. And when I landed, I feel like the headlines I was reading was about portal news
Yeah, for
already.
sure. Yeah.
Like I didn't even get home, and like we're already talking about like portal stuff, and not like fully digesting like the amazing tournament we watched.
Yeah. And then, I mean, on top of that, also the U.S. Open, right? I mean, so you're going to
Yeah,
have like the best freestyle in the country coming up pretty quick here. And like, it's not getting much oxygen, you know?
yeah,
And like, so, I mean, for right people who really like wrestling, like, like
right.
it's generally interesting and it's fun to talk about. And like, I think that like people fantasize like, oh, we could get this guy. And, I think that they do kind of forget,
Yeah,
the student athlete piece of it too, which is kind of like, it's just like raw athletes and they should go here because of a lineup thing. And like, I mean, some of these guys are going to go on to be doctors. Some of these guys are going to go on to be, whatever, and like they got
yeah,
more.
most of them.
Yeah. Like very few of them are going to like compete in the Olympics, right? I mean, basically not. So, yeah, that's true. So yeah, I think you're right. I mean, maybe the fans are losing a little bit with this, but it definitely drives interest. So
Yeah, for sure, for
So
sure.
since we were there, I thought like drop some Hodge thoughts. I'll let you go first. What did you think?
Well, for me, Wyatt was the clear Hodge winner.
Hmm.
Um, he basically pinned his way through the season
Yeah,
and then beat Gable, which nobody really gave him any chance of doing. And so upsetting a former Olympic champion, which I don't know, I have the data, but that's probably never happened before. And you combine that with like him basically bonusing his way through the whole season. To me, it was an easy choice. The only other option, I guess, would have been Carter, who who was obviously very dominant. And if Wyatt, um, it's sort of interesting. If Wyatt had lost to Gable, I think it would have been a much m tougher decision.
Oh, really?
To me, yeah. I mean, Gable didn't. I mean, he bonused his way through the season too, but he had actually a rough semifinal.
Yeah.
And then if he had, so suppose he had gotten that escape and then Gable won in overtime,
Right.
then what do you, because then you also look at the quality of competition, which is unfortunately he's a victim of his own success. Like he
Right.
can't beat the former Olympic champion because he is the former Olympic
Right.
champion. But I think it would have been a much more comparable thing. But Carter, uh, he had an overtime match against McAnally, right?
Right.
At the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
And he also had a 1 point match against Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Parker match
Overtime.
was it overtime or
The
1 point.
the classic was overtime. He won in regulation in the so the All Star Classic was overtime, and they did win. I believe he won in regulation in the NCAA.
Yeah, but the classic doesn't count.
Nope, I agree. You shouldn't count that.
Yeah,
Shouldn't talk about that.
classic. But he won but it was a actually, even though the points were kind of close, I didn't think Parker ever came that close to scoring. I mean, Carter was obviously very good, undefeated national champion. So anyone who's an undefeated national champ, you have to ask yourself, are they the Hodge?
Right.
So those are the only two guys that fit that category.
Well,
So,
Mitchell was an undefeated national champ,
oh, Messenbrink, yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
but
Uh, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I was all on Wyatt, Team Wyatt the whole way, and then like right the day before I kind of like switched to Carter. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I was influenced by Nomad or something, but I mean, it is pretty incredible. I mean, I sort of personally like don't like some of the things Carter said and done. I guess I think I have some bias about sort of just against his personality, even though I think it's like fun. you know,
Yeah, yeah.
like I don't know. But so I don't really mind him like being who he is. I mean, that's kind of like a cool thing. But then he did get that sportsmanship point. He like buried some guy's head after a match and early in the season against Lehigh and stuff like that. And like, so I mean, I suppose it's fine with me. So, though Carter was an exceptional wrestler, there's no question that he's got a
Yeah, no
chance.
doubt about it. And then I'm just glad that they didn't split it again. Because if they had split it again and then just started this precedent that like we're just too like weak to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like there's a right answer to this question. I mean,
Right.
we just all have our own opinions, and then
Mm-hmm.
like slightly more people were on Wyatt's side, and that's why he got the award. And it's not taking anything away from Carter or Mitchell, but
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Let's see what we got. A couple things. So you said you didn't see the Gilman interview.
no, I haven't.
All right. So this is I thought this was my favorite part of it. Let me play this. Can you hear this?
I'm like, okay, we can wait until you get
I don't
back.
hear.
You don't
But
hear it?
going back to last
No.
year, the Olympic trials.
Oh, my
Oh,
share. I didn't probably share sound.
yeah.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer. It's another time. Basically, Bash is like, oh, coming back, and then like everything was like really, really rushed and like and you know, and then it basically was like, yeah, probably shouldn't have never gone. It was just kind of funny. Like, anyway, I thought that was good. But anyway, all right, if you can't see that, let's pop over here. Um,
Well, no, we gotta like discuss. Was Gilman a spy all along for 1 year to tell Kale what David Taylor's doing at Oklahoma State so Kale can like get the edge in his prep? That's obviously to me what's going on.
yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think that like Thomas Gilman just needs to. My basic opinion is that Thomas Gilman is not ready to live a life of service. Like he is not ready to, you know, just give
You
of
mean like
himself. for his athletes and things like that. He just hasn't flipped that switch yet, and I think that like
You went like deep into his soul on
yeah,
that.
right. I truly believe. Oh, you got to hear the interview,
I
man.
got it from the stand.
All right. If wait,
Not
you just
ready.
got to listen to the interview and then you'll know. Uh,
Okay, yeah, I'll listen to the interview.
so Roper,
Wait. Does Gilman end up at Iowa eventually?
so that was like the funniest thing, and like somebody's like after that interview because people see things so differently, right? It's like,
Right.
um, I was just like, someone's like, Gilman's the next coach of Iowa, and
Yeah.
like the thing I got out of that was like, this guy is miles away from being ready to be like a coach. He's still just in athlete mode, selfish mode, like, and like, but uh, I don't, I don't think he's a head coach, like in general. I don't think he's a head coach,
Well,
but
I mean, how old is he? Like 29?
yeah, he's not. I mean, he could definitely
Yeah,
evolve for sure.
yeah.
And like, I'm probably being overly critical of the guy, but
That's
uh,
okay, man. It's more fun to be
yeah, right.
overly
You gotta
overly.
right. Gotta have a take every now and then, right? This is Willie. Um, says so the original quote is like, of course Willie's responding to himself, so that means he's probably getting into the Bud Heavies a little bit. But so Penn State is the best program in the country, and it's not close. Okay, that's probably not even. You don't need to say that, right? And then Nebraska is the second best program in the country, and it's not close. And then the reply there is, and then he replied to himself, if any brain dead college wrestling fan wants to debate me on this, and most of you are full scale homers and or noobs, I'll do a live call in show whenever you want. So I thought so we could have Willie on. Say, hey Willie, we wanted to debate you on that. I love Nebraska. Nobody likes Nebraska any, I mean, more than me. Nebraska's a great program. Man. Manning's fun. Like they got Olympians on their benches. They got great athletes. They seem to really like each other. Like I love Nebraska, but I mean, I'm not sure I'm ready to declare that it's the second best program, but it's up there, top 10 for sure. Um, and then the other yeah, right. Like, how many people do they graduate? What's the mean salary of their graduating class? What's their? I mean, there's so many different ways you could measure it, right? How many? Uh, yeah. No, Iowa is for sure. Ohio State's right above them. I mean, yeah, right. I mean, yeah, for sure. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a little silly. Um, the Gilman thing. I thought this was funny. So like, this is like wrestling, the wrestling community, right? This is like, yeah, so proud to announce, and then like you click on it, and you're like, I mean, are you kidding me? Like, that's the best you can do. Like, Wyatt Hendrickson swag is that shirt. I mean, like, I no, but I mean that's what it is, right? So it's the Wyatt pocket tee. I mean, yeah, right. This is definitely family member like hey dude, can I do a tee? Come on, man. Can I do a tee? Yeah. Do it, man. It'll be great. I'm gonna do this. Yeah. Cool. Do it. Yeah, right. That's so funny. Yeah, cracks me up. But that's cool. What else did I find out on the interwebs? Oh, how did you see this? Um, this is this is kind of interesting.
I'm for sure gonna keep going. I mean, like
Yeah, why
I
not?
think I think it'd just
I'm
be stupid with
I can read it, but I'm not
ability
hearing
I
the
know I'm
audio.
capable
Yeah,
of
right.
doing
Right.
Okay.
with my freestyle and the ability my coaches believe in me, and whether that be training, because I'd like to
Wait,
move back to
who am I
Wisconsin,
listening to?
so
So this is Evan Wick.
Figuring
training
it
with
out there.
AWA,
Oh, okay.
and then bouncing with hey, let's go do the training cycle down Little Rock, let's go do one over
Start a
here.
start a AWA-RTC.
So they're asking
Yeah,
Evan Wick
honestly,
what
like
he's doing
it could be
next.
something like that. That'd be kind of actually really cool. But
You're like, wait a second.
yeah, you just came with a great idea. And but yeah, I mean, just
Yeah, you guys actually convinced me to announce we're doing an AWRTC. I've been a little slow on announcing it. I told
Oh, they're doing an
Ryan Wood's going to be
AWA
one of
RTC.
our fundraisers. Um,
Is that
there is
Ben?
no senior level
It's a little
training
small.
facility in the state
Yeah,
of Wisconsin,
that's it.
and we've wanted to create that
So the announcement is
forever.
they're doing an AWA RTC.
University of
Yeah.
Wisconsin, obviously, they're not getting it done. They have
Nice.
no senior level athletes there, and so Evan is going to move back
AWA
here.
is
He's going to
like
do some training. We also have Mateo.
definitely thinking outside the box
Yeah, so
to
that's
be.
cool, right? I mean, so
Yeah,
Ben's spinning up an RTC. I think that like he wants so bad to like have sort of the head coach, college head coach credibility, but
yeah,
not the responsibility. That's my take on it. It's like, and he's like he's a smart guy, good author, builds great wrestlers, right? But like, I think
right.
that like he for some reason is very like he likes his life and being a head coach, and like especially in the NIL era,
Right.
it's making phone calls, it's fundraising, blah 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 blah, and I think that like he wants to be on that peer level with the NCAA D1 coaches, but doesn't want to like take that
Yeah.
gig.
Well, he's just got a very like entrepreneurial spirit. I think
Mm-hmm.
working for himself, is more
Right.
inspiring. And he's a big Bitcoin guy.
Mm-hmm.
So just the sort of like independence from the system, I think, is like his whole vibe. So that's cool though. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of exciting, right? I mean, like to have it like in the Midwest and like have another. I mean, I
But it's almost like since athletes are more empowered now, it's kind of interesting that this organization that is athlete centered and not affiliated with an institution,
right, but I
and
mean,
so in terms of recruiting, there's a reason now to like basically having a relationship with Ben Askren is now super relevant if you're a D1 head coach.
yeah, it's interesting, right? I mean, like, because I think about it, like, I mean, he's not. It's Wisconsin, Wisconsin. It's Wisconsin. So like
Yeah, but look at
I mean,
their
they have like so
success.
he has certain guys like baked in potentially. Like he's got Mitchell, he's got Keegan, he's got Wick, he's got some athletes that are baked in and like they're from Wisconsin and they like, they want to like probably be there and but I mean, and I guess like it's Stillwater State College. I mean, there's RTCs everywhere, right? You got Illinois
Right.
RTC, like so. I guess there's probably enough bodies, but it's gonna be hard to
Well,
pull
it's
in.
like
You got Cliff Keen in Michigan. I mean, I guess there's a lot of RTCs.
you're also making it less of a glamour profession instead of like just like the top guy who's on the Olympic team can make a living at this. You could if you if these RTCs go on and like basically that part of how they're making money is running camps,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're probably not crushing it, but they're making a good living and doing what they love to do. And that was like not an opportunity before. I mean, when you were done wrestling, say you were like a two-time All-American, so you're like kind of far from like the Olympic team, but you're also done with your eligibility.
Right.
If you wanted to keep wrestling, I mean, being a high school coach or a college assistant coach was like the only way to do it. And so there's like maybe a few dozen guys that can do the college assistant coach, and then a few hundred who can do the high school. So it's just like another option. I like it.
Yeah.
It was like I didn't like put my post in there, but Seth Gross had a nice post about you know don't stop wrestling just because
Yeah.
like people telling you that like you're over the hill or you're not going to make an Olympic team or whatever. If you still love to do it, like just keep doing it. And
Yeah,
this is
that
like,
that was an interesting post to me, I guess.
yeah,
Uh, I guess there's like two sides of it, on some level. Like you say, I mean, if you can if you enjoy it and you're monetizing it, and I think about like someone who's like in a band or someone who plays minor league baseball and stuff like that, and I would love to go back
yeah,
and interview them, or something like, say, hey man, like, so you're 32 years old and like the dream ended, or you're 30 years old and the dream ended, and then you had to start, like, then you had to build a career. So, you lost, 8 years of saving for your retirement and things like that, but you also like did all kinds of crazy stuff, that like
yeah, yeah.
nobody else got to do. And like, I wonder how people feel about it. But I feel like the posts, like, I mean, in some respects, it's like natural to have people like tell you what to do. Everybody loves doing it, right? You got
Yeah.
parents, you got siblings, you got coworkers. Like, we all like to give our advice and like tell everybody what
Coaching.
to do, right? So, uh, you got to like take in the input and then make your decision, right? So, but yeah, so that'd be cool. I mean, I think that, like, yeah, keeping Ben Askren interested in the sport is good for the sport, for sure. You gonna watch UFC tonight?
Probably not.
Yeah.
What's the main event again?
Uh, Volk's fighting.
Oh, okay.
Volkanovski is fighting Diaz, maybe, or not like a Nate Diaz or something. Or some, I forget, Garcia, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sure it'll be like they're two high level
He's
guys.
lost like his last three fights, Volk.
Yeah, I guess I'm not following close enough to. I don't know.
Yeah,
Liam sent me a text and he's like, "Hey, good fights tonight." And so sometimes we just
yeah,
like,
yeah. I remember on Instagram I saw like the weigh they post stuff and I saw like all the weigh-in like stare downs and
mhm,
stuff. I was kind of interested, but we got plans.
got plans. Nice.
So
Yeah.
not even good plans, but Minfade, I don't think she wants to watch watch UFC.
Yeah, that's
You know
fair.
the so when I was a member of the UFC gym, I was watching all of them
Uh huh.
because they would play it at the gym.
Oh, right on.
And then and it was awesome. They'd like put out chairs and it was like a whole scene. There'd be like 40, 50 people there and they're all like kind of like of the UFC mindset, because they're
Uh
part of
huh.
the
Right.
UFC. It was really cool. And then when I moved to Oakland, there isn't a UFC gym like near me. So I got kind of away from like watching, but um, there's a couple of the big ones that I watched at like AMC,
Oh yeah. Uh huh.
and that's actually been kind of cool. Like you go and it's like a whole theater, and the audio and screen is like really nice, and then there's like I'd say each time I went it was like half full,
Hmm.
and people are talking and like
Right.
everyone reacts, and it's definitely like a pretty interesting environment to check something like
Yeah,
that out.
I think they do it sometimes at our local theater. I should probably like check that out for
Yeah.
sure. So did you see my quad R? Like, this is the sign language R.
Okay.
Maybe that? What do you think? Something like that, quad R?
Wait, am I doing it? I'm doing it backwards. What's going on here?
Yeah, I guess you could do. I think the four needs to go behind, right? The R in the front, maybe. You got to face forward. Jacob said that's the hand's got to be forward,
Okay, so
and
both
then
of them are backwards.
middle over the index, right? And then
Yeah, I'm doing
I
the
don't
best
know.
I can.
It's something we got to work on.
Yeah. Wait, we gotta say like one more thing.
Okay.
Did you did you see Hunter Garvin won the U23 Greco World Championship?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty awesome, man.
Stanford.
He's bombing people. I
Um,
saw the team was watching. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's cool. That's fun. Yeah, I guess the Pan Ams are going on today. But like I was like working in the garage and I got TV in the garage. I threw it on and it was like Guatemala versus Mexico. I'm like
Right.
it didn't like exactly like grab my attention. And then some Canadian guy was like crushing somebody from, I can't remember where, but so those are, yeah, I wish, it's sad that Cuba's not where they were, right? I mean, where we could
Yeah.
have some fun Pan Am stuff going on. And yeah, so we should, I don't know, next podcast, what do you think? Do the pre US Open?
Yeah, we can do that. Um,
That'd be like,
is this the, should we close it out and then talk
yeah, let's do that. All right, so I'm
talk
gonna,
podcast shop?
yeah, hold on, let me go to the out and then for a few seconds, and then we'll
Okay.
crush it.